Today we're going to talk about Le Chatelier's principle. Okay. Le Chatelier's principle states, when a system at equilibrium is subjected to a stress, the equilibrium will shift in the direction that tends to counteract or relieve the effect of the stresses. Now there are three stresses that will shift an equilibrium. First one is a change in concentration, and that can be of the products or the reactants. A change in pressure, if we are dealing with gases for our products and reactants, and a change in temperature. Now, we had already talked about the equilibrium constant, so if we have a reaction that's in equilibrium, when you look at their concentrations, when the reaction rates are equal, you will get a constant. Okay, so obviously, if we were to change the concentration of any of these, for instance, if we were to increase the concentration of D, if the equilibrium didn't shift, that would cause a change in KEQ. Okay, and that's not going to happen. The only way you can change your equilibrium constant is to have a change in temperature. Okay, so what's going to happen instead when you get one of these pressures, a pressure change, a concentration change, one of these stresses occurring on the system, it will temporarily shift the equilibrium, which means it's going to change your rates. For example, if you were to increase the amount of A that you were to put into this reaction, then suddenly it's going to shift to the right. And so the forward reaction is going to be occurring at a faster rate than the reverse reaction. So this will happen for a little bit until it can balance out again and give us the same equilibrium constant. Okay. So what's going to happen? Let's say that we have, let me find a reaction here. Let's say we have 2 SO2, we'll make this one a gas, reacts with oxygen, and it is in equilibrium with sulfur trioxide gas. Okay, so of course it's going to have an equilibrium constant once the reaction gets going, and the forward and reverse reactions will be the same. Now let's say we're going to add a stress. Let's increase the concentration of SO3. So in this case, instead of increasing reactant, we're going to increase the amount of product. So suddenly we add more SO3 into this container during this reaction. That's our stress. We have more SO3 than we did in the equilibrium. So to counteract this, you must reduce the concentration of SO3. Okay. The only way to do that is to get this reaction to shift in this direction. Because if you shift to the right, the SO3 will break down, meaning you'll have less SO3, and it will produce more oxygen and more sulfur dioxide. Okay. That's going to balance out your concentrations and give you the same equilibrium. Okay, so we will see a shift to the right. Or you could describe it as a shift towards the reactants. Okay, and then that would all be balanced out. Now we could take the same situation again, and this time we're going to change what the stress is. We are going to make the stress pressure. Okay. So we're going to increase the pressure. Now remember, pressure is caused by gas particles colliding with the walls of their container. So if we're increasing the pressure, we need to reduce the pressure. We need to do the opposite. Okay, so we have to take a look at this. If pressure is caused by collisions, we learned a few things, that if you have more particles in the same size container, so if you increase the number of particles, you're going to increase the pressure. So you can take a close look at this reaction that's in equilibrium, and you can see on the reactant side, we have 3 moles of particles, or if we're looking at it individually, we have 2 particles of SO2 and 1 particle of O2. On this side, we have 2 particles of SO3. So we have 2 particles, or 2 moles of particles, colliding in the container. Where on this side, you've got 2 plus 1, which will give you 3 moles of particles on that side. So if we want to reduce the pressure, we're not going to want to go towards the reactants because there's more particles, there's more moles. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go in this direction to reduce the number of particles. So in order to relieve this stress, we are going to shift to the right. Oops, I misspoke on the one above. I drew it correctly, but I see I wrote it wrong. That should have been shift to the left. Sorry. Okay, so we got a shift to the right or a shift towards the products. Now remember, in both of these cases, KEQ remains constant. Okay. KEQ cannot change if all you're doing is changing the pressure or changing the concentration. By changing the pressure and making it shift, you will see a change in the concentrations as well. Keep in mind, anytime this shifts, you are changing the concentration of both the products and the reactants. Okay, you will see a change in all of them. All right. One last example that we need is temperature. This tends to be the trickiest one for people to follow. Okay, so we're going to go with N2 gas reacting with oxygen gas, and it will be in equilibrium, with NO gas. I'm going to need a 2 there. And for this reaction to go, it is an endothermic reaction, so heat has to be added. Now, since the heat is indicated in this, we can talk about temperature and what would happen if we're going to change the temperature in any way. The hardest one seems to be if we are going to decrease the temperature, so we'll work with that one. So if we're going to decrease temperature, remember, what do we need to do? Well, if we're going to decrease temperature, that means we need to do the opposite. We suddenly have to change that and try to increase the temperature. Okay. So they made it colder. It's colder. Let's make it warmer. How do we do that? So when I think of this, when I say I have to increase the temperature, I'm thinking I need to create more heat. If I'm going to increase the temperature, how else can I do that? I need to add more. I need to get more heat in the system. So when you're looking at this, creating more heat, that means I need to shift in the direction where I'm going to produce heat. So in this case, that is going to be to the left. If I shift in this direction, it will then make more heat, which will increase the temperature. Again, don't forget, as you are changing the temperature, this will cause a change not only in the concentrations, but it will also cause a change in the equilibrium constant. One other thing that we sometimes do to reactions are adding catalysts. Okay. If you were to add a catalyst to a reaction in equilibrium, there is no shift. Okay? No shift. Remember, a catalyst speeds up the reaction. So in this case, it will speed up the reaction of both the forward reaction and the reverse. Okay? So it will not have any effect on the KEQ. So we really do not consider this a stress, because you'll see no shift once again. Okay, all right, that should do it.